Now let's get to the fun stuff. Let's turn on Kriya AI, which means everything that you were doing till now, we're going to make it 100x faster and 100x better. So all you'll need to do is a couple of things. One, make sure that you set up your AI profile, which really is going to take you a minute. And all you're doing is indicating to our AI model a little bit more about who you are, like your position and title, your name, your branding, and your writing style. So there's consistency every time an asset is generated for you. Then we'll go ahead and start with the template. When you choose a template, you're kind of indicating to our AI model about what your intention is. What are you looking to create? That will suggest a structure based on, what the objectives are. Once you have a structure, you can review, you can add some more content, such as, keywords or descriptive sentences about your value proposition and so on. All of this context helps our AI model to further generate content that is more optimal and really relevant for what you're trying to create. And then the last thing we'll talk about is your AI knowledge bank, which is a place where you can dump a lot of existing, company information and so on. So there's overall consistency in your messaging, so that everything that you build over time sounds the same and uses same reference materials. So you don't have to keep repeating this information every time. Okay, so to get started, really what we recommend is jump into your dashboard and you can start with one of our existing templates. Could be a pitch deck, could be a digital sales room, a client proposal. You can start with any of these. Make sure that your setup steps are complete. Like I said, this is really informative to the model to know who it's generating for, and your assets are pretty much ready from the get-go. Once you choose a template, what this will do is our Kriya AI model is going to do two things. One is it's going to suggest a structure. This structure is the most commonly used ways to communicate, the value you're trying to bring through this asset. You can always go ahead and edit each of these subsections so that it is again prompting the AI to tell it what you would like to see out of each of these sections. It's kind of setting up the structure of the document. Now, two inputs that are super important at this point is also the page title and relevant descriptions. The page title is, let's say you're trying to create a pitch deck. Don't just say pitch deck. If you're actually using this to do sales, you should call it Kriya Sales Deck. All of these are important parameters for our AI model to understand who your intended audience is and what you're trying to build. Similarly, with each of these sort of section subtitles, get descriptive. As you know, AI works better with more descriptions. Now, over here in the add any relevant descriptions, this is where you can throw in just like rough, raw notes, bullet points. Could be about your feature list, high-level value proposition, client profile information, competitive positioning. Just dump it in here. It could be as few as a couple of sentences, or could be like an entire sort of, document that you want to paste in here. Once you do that, hit the generate page button. It'll take anywhere between 20 to 60 seconds to generate. And remember, Kriya AI is, again, using all the information you've given it. Your AI profile, if you have the knowledge bank, we'll talk about that in a second, your branding, your writing style, and so on. Once you have that, you'll notice that the entire page has been generated for you. Now, it's really important at this point that you go in and refine. So while we've generated the whole thing for you, know that you can go in and update and add more sections that you feel relevant. So for example, here's the deck that I just went over with you guys, right? Now, let's say I want to add a certain section at this point. Let's see. Let's say I want to add a grid. Okay. Now, at this point, this is just some basic dummy information. I want to go ahead and ask it to generate some case studies for me. Apologies. Let's enter a descriptive title. So I'm saying I wanted to generate 3 case studies about the value of using Kriya AI to create sales collateral that will boost buyer engagement and accelerate sales cycles. Let's see what it creates. All right. So a few things to note here. It's come up with a title that fits perfectly with the description we've asked for it. It's come up with headlines. So revolutionize sales with Kriya AI. See how Kriya AI transforms sales collateral, increasing buyer engagement. Witness the accelerated sales cycle. Read more. discover how Kriya AI's innovative approach to sales collateral boosted, and so on. So one, what it's done is it's come up with titles and subtext as well as calls to action that are super well put together and relevant to the topic, but also fits perfectly within this format. And as you know, you can obviously go in, edit, change this, pop in a video, add some relevant icons and so on. So you know the value and ease of use of this grid. But let's also try now creating a carousel. Now the carousel just says speaking engagements. Let me pop in the exact same prompt and see how it does. 3 case studies about the value of using Kriya AI. Give it a few seconds. Okay, let's see what it did with this format. Came up with the title. It says, see how Kriya AI transformed a struggling business into a sales powerhouse. Witness the power of sales in AI. Discover how AI sales collateral generation led to a 50% increase in buyer engagement. Experience the change. See how Criya AI solutions shorten the sales cycle, leading to faster conversions. So what it's done is it's come up with more specific responses, again, that fit this format perfectly. And again, the titles and the images are not relevant, but know that you can easily swap these out with, let's say, a video. There you go. Oh, I need to enter a URL. And now you'll notice that there's a video here. So it's super easy, and know that the formatting and the text is built in a way that is succinct, concise, and relevant. You can obviously go ahead and make it far more relevant by adding more reference material and so on. The reason I want to share this is you will want to continue to just pay attention, because Kriya AI will get you nearly 60 to 70% of the way there. All you need to do is then, let's say you want to add new sections. Just add the section, make sure that the prompt is relevant. There are enough sentences in here so that the AI model generates something that's super relevant for you, because these are all key parameters to the model. All right. Lastly, I want to share with you the knowledge base. Now, there's a lot of information about your company and your services, what you guys do, that you want the model to know. It's almost like it's getting in your brain and it knows this about you already before it generates this content. And that's why we created the knowledge bank. So when you go into your Kriya knowledge bank, what you want to do is go ahead and say, oh, I want to upload a file or add a source. And then all you'll do is, let's say you have some documents, you can just, drag and drop it, and then hit upload and train. It's going to go ahead and come in here, and then it'll update to a completed status when the model has processed it, which means now it's ready for consumption within the model. And that's the idea. And that's it. You don't have to enter this information again and again. It's already in there for you. Lastly, how do we make sure that there's consistency in your branding, voice, and tone? And this is where, if you remember, the AI profile that you created is really important. This will take you a minute to set up. Just make sure your company information and your information is provided in here. You've chosen your branding colors. Now know that you can either upload your custom branding or even use one of our defaults which come close to your company. You can swap these out as and when you feel, but they're existing for you. Your writing style is updated, and your socials. And that's it. This way, we'll ensure that your profile is ready so that there's consistency in all of your writing and all assets that are being generated. And that is pretty much it. You're all set to go off and start building excellent content in seconds.